Appreciating this beautiful sound of drums. Any questions?
The first one, Mandukya, that was a man who is...
The man is Manduk.
Manduk. Okay. And then he is, if I understand correctly...
It's like France and French.
It's like...
France and French. Like England and English. So Manduk, related to Manduk, is Mandukya.
Okay. But he is then explaining something of Advaita.
Yeah.
And my only knowledge of, it's not an only knowledge, but my knowledge of Advaita has come through reading Ramana Maharshi and Papaji, and then later Ramesh.
These are called Ekdeshi. Ekdeshi. Ek means one, Deshi means aspect. So, Raman Maharshi, or Ramesh Palsekhar, Nisargadatta Maharaj, they were saints. And they preached what was beneficial for them.
They preached or taught what was beneficial.
For them, what they actually practiced.
Yeah.
And in Advaita they say there are many ways to explain it.
Yeah.
One way is, once Brahma went to Narayana to explain Adhihi Bhagavo Brahma, please tell us about Supreme Consciousness. And sa avachne neva provacha. He spoke without speaking. So that is one of the method of
When you say they spoke without
speaking.
you mean they're just silent?
Just silence. Because knower was Brahma, the four-headed god, and the speaker was Narayana, Vishnu. So even without speaking it was preached. So there are many ways, many prakriyas, processes to explain Advaita. Raman Maharshi's prakriya of process of focusing on self is one of them.
Of the individual self.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is one of them.
Okay, but then you said somewhere, if I have got it right, that we started with whatever is seen is an illusion. You were using that device, telling us about that device. And there you said there must be a seer who sees.
the illusion.
Who sees the illusion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you said further, or was it in opposition to the seer is always I? I is experience.
The reason I said the seer should be there to see the illusion,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult, almost impossible, to take everything as illusion without I, without a reference point.
Yeah.
And it's scary. So whatever seems as not I should be put in the field of illusion.
Yeah.
And whatever seems as I should be put in the field of knower, seer, I.
Yeah.
And it's like the I, with this practice of meditation where you see everything other than I as illusion, the I will get refined, and as it peels off, the I will be out, 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 as if in the case of onion.
Yeah.
So if you start taking peels out, what will happen?
Nothing left.
Nothing left.
Yeah.
But if in the beginning itself, as we said, took the reference of Buddhists, who say there is no I and there is no mind, then meditation practice for most of us becomes bumpy ride of the bus that we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
If we have I as the anchor,
Yeah.
and whatever other than I, whatever is seen as other than I, as mind and as illusion,
Mm-hmm.
then the practice of meditation becomes more human.
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 Yeah.
But then you also said somewhere or other later on, if I can find it in all this muddle I've written down, where was it? Excuse me, if I
Yes, please.
a minute or two. Was it there? Must have been here. There must be a seer who sees delusion. Yes. The seer is always I. I is experienced. But then I thought you said later on that. So, where is it?
That there is no seer also.
Yeah, you said that somewhere. I can't find it there, but you did say that.
Yeah.
You did say that. And
You
then-
are not the doer of your thoughts.
No.
You are not the
Enjoy.
enjoyer of
But
your
what is the enjoyer of your thought?
Yeah, so today we will be discussing.
Okay. But you also said that, as you say, you are not the seer.
And that you are not the seer of your thoughts.
But if that step I don't understand, because
Yeah. There is so much
there is
focus-
always an observer.
observer, and
Yeah.
that's why it's the last step where seer and the seen is gone. So today we will talk about enjoyer.
But when the seer and the seen is gone, then it's sort of moving into anatman.
Whatever you call it, it's one.
Well,
It's existence. It's just existence. So these things are things where if you try to grasp it only intellectually, it doesn't work.
because I was talking to Ajay about this yesterday, and I think Ajay, you also said the observer will always be there. When I asked you about this yesterday, but now now Aditya is saying that even the observer.
Yeah, because the observer means observing together with someone. Like there is a power of observation used by, say, I.
Yeah.
I could be very diminished, very little, but still, power is used by that. So as long as power is used by, then it will be called observer.
Yeah.
And there comes a point when I is diminished
Yes.
and observation, like the seeing,
Happens.
happens or keeps on.
Just happens.
It just happens without any, as long as say, I'm observing. Say
As long as
I as a mind, body, and as long as I observe, then I'm also explaining to me at the same time. Like when I see you, then I say, it's done. That is Dr. John. So there are two things going on. I see, and then I also explain to me at the same time. Like, the recognition happens because I explain.
But there will still be events or phenomena somehow in the field
because
of
the
consciousness.
events will keep on.
Yeah.
But then they will, because there will be no explanation to me. So like if events keep on and I am also explaining, then I will be affected by events. And if events are going on and there is no explanation, then events will be like just events. There will be no my recognition to events.
But this to me sounds very close to like the Buddha formulation, like there is, like deeds are done but there is no doer thereof. Or thoughts are had but there's no thinker thereof.
That's why Shankaracharya was called Prachanna Buddha, like hidden Buddhist.
What?
Hidden Buddhist.
A hidden Buddhist. He was a seer.
By the mainstream Brahmins. Said, he's hidden Buddhist.
So that's why I said that I get the feeling that this very, very, very subtle I, that's not even the observer, is merging into what in Buddhism is called Anatman.
Yeah, certainly.
I think in Hinduism it would be Atman with a large A, or the self with a big S.
Like there is nobody individual to claim the process of observation.
Okay, I'm with you there at last. And then I just have one more thing, this thing of terminology. Upadesha means instruction. And there's something, but that's not the experience, and the experience is called in Sanskrit.
If we go to literal meaning of Upadesh, it's friendly advice.
Friendly advice.
Okay.
The instructions are friendly advice.
Like there are two types of instruction: to do something and to point out something. So Upadesha means to point out something.
Upadesha means to point out.
In what context did we use that, Upadesha?
Like saying everything is illusion is not an instruction to do.
Okay.
It's an information.
To point out.
It's pointing out.
And then what was the word for experience? You said
Anubhuti. Anubhuti.
Anubhuti.
Literal meaning would be bhuti means happening, and anubhuti means mind registers that happening. Anu means to go behind.
So the literal meaning would be mind
registering what is happening.
Okay. And then I think this is about the last one.
And Shankaracharya, for self-realization, he says it's neither experience nor information. it's avagati, as if something goes into something. So it's neither experience nor information.
And then,
Avagati.
Oh.
Gati means movement, avagati means moving into. As if you are jumping into Ganga.
Okay.
but not as Lara,
Yeah.
Yeah.
being Ganga, jumping into Ganga, being Ganga. Like that will be avagati.
Avagati. Avagati paryantam jnana. He uses it
Being one with experience, or
And
being one with experience, is that?
no, like because it's not experience, just being one with.
With one, being one with it.
like as if submerging into something.
Sorry? Yeah. no.
Submerging into something.
and then finally, so far, I then, thou art that would then be an upadesha, an instruction.
Yeah.
Whereas I am that would be an experience.
Yes.
Thank you. Got that cleared up. Have to get our terms right, you
Yeah,
know,
please.
otherwise it gets in a big muddle.
Please.
And then in the Upanishad, it could either be Upanishad. What does that mean now? You told us, I forgot again.
Sitting closer to.
Sitting closer to, and then he can either be giving instructions or
Yeah, it's more.
say have an experience.
Yeah, more like like sitting together. It's
Yeah.
like more like a energetically moving into same space. There are no instructions or statements.
Right.
Basically, just like when we sit silent.
Yeah.
So whatever silence brings, that will be Upanishad.
But it's necessary that there should be a master there to sit
Because
beside.
the energetic, like, if one energy, like, if that kind of energy is not there, then things doesn't happen.
So it is a kind of transmission.
It's a kind of like very, very slow transmission.
Like when Buddha said, Appudipo bhava, be your own,
To
Sorry?
light
be your
yourself.
own light.
And then,
Up
Yeah.
the deep.
Oh, you be a light unto yourself.
Yeah.
So somebody said, how can a light ignite without another light?
Who said that?
Some of the masters.
Okay. Well, thank
You
you.
cannot become, a light cannot be ignited without another light. And one of the things that disturbs us when we are sitting or lying down for meditation is our own thoughts. For some of us. The incessant going thoughts in our mind. And somehow we are trained very deeply to assume that meditation means a state of no thoughts. Somehow. With a sitting meditation or practice, we expect ourselves to become thoughtless. when we are doing this kind of meditation from perspective of Vedanta and from perspective of seeing whatever is anatma, whatever is not self as illusion, this view that mind should be free from thoughts is a pitfall. One story from Swami Satyanandji, like my interaction with him. Satyanandji is the one who founded Bihar School of Yoga. And in 2003-04 I was with him. Like I would visit him. And he would ask me to clean the ashram and other things. So one question one day I asked him, Swamiji, when I am working, I don't have thoughts. But when I am not working, say I am going back my home, I have lots of thoughts. So how to stop it? And he looked at me like this. And he said, but did we tell here, like he said, did we tell here to stop the thoughts? And I was like, what he is talking about? If stopping thought is not meditation, then what it is actually? Like for me, it was so obvious. The thoughts should be stopped. And he understood. And he said, he was like, he acted as if he is very much amazed and amused by it. But did we say here that you have to stop the thoughts? Who told you to stop the thoughts? Why this tendency of stopping the thought comes is because we think good things and we think bad things. We tend to, like it's habit of mind, to imagine or things that are happy, that it feels happy about. And it thinks things that doesn't makes it happy, that makes it scared, that makes it stressed, that makes it confused. And with big market out there, which are advocating ways and means to stop it altogether, big advertisement, somehow we are inclined to think that if all the thoughts were stopped, these distressing thoughts, unhappy thoughts, uncomfortable thoughts, they will also be stopped. So actually what we want freedom from is not absence of complete thoughts, but we want freedom from distressing, uncomfortable, unhappy thoughts. There are many ways and techniques to stop thoughts altogether for some time or a long time. But in these types of meditations, where we are focusing upon thoughts, we should not mix it with stopping the thoughts. Eventually, knowing the thoughts as illusion and staying with them does stops thought. But if we try or expect the thoughts to be stopped, it kind of backfires.
But we're still then on this way of using a device all is an illusion. It's within that context
Yeah.
you say that
Yeah.
thoughts will stop.
Yeah.
Because,
But we will not try to stop it.
no, they stop by themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. But we do have to really believe this is what you said about faith. We have to have faith that even the thoughts are an illusion for this to work.
We do not have to have the faith.
Oh, no. You said somewhere faith in
we
these
have
devices.
to we have to have enough faith to try it out.
Faith to try it out. Okay. Hmm.
आत्मसत्यानुबोधेन न संकल्पयते यदा अमनस्तां तदा याति ग्राह्या भावो तदग्रहम्. So this line, I always begin with this line, that when mind knows the absolute, there is no knower and the known, and it becomes silent by itself. Then mind is nothing other than the pure consciousness. Mind and whatever you want to think about is not different. Thoughts and what you want to think about is not different. Realizing this, mind becomes silent, and the mind becomes one with absolute.
Would you repeat that once more, please, that sentence?
Realizing mind and what mind thinks about, the object of thoughts, house, meditation, food, both are one. Realizing this truth, mind becomes silence. Non-duality is not I am tree or tree is horse. Non-duality is this duality in the head, in the mind, of me as thinker and thoughts or objects of the thoughts. This as split that is happening here.
But the mind that is thinking and
Like there
The
could be
object of
many,
thought.
many kind of dualities. Mind and the thought is one kind of duality. Thoughts and object of thoughts is another kind of duality.
Thought and object of thought?
Object of
Thought, object, you mean the content of it? Or?
yeah, content of the thought. Like you think about cooks, you think about food,
Okay.
you think about the things that we are discussing.
Wait, then I don't see that the thought is, for me, is more or less the content, isn't it? Or,
Like contents are the objects.
okay, the object of my thinking, the thought?
You think about something. So
Yeah.
thinking and
You mean the capacity of thinking?
like you think about cooks.
Yeah.
So cooks and the thoughts. Thoughts about the cook.
Oh, the proliferation of it,
Yeah.
okay.
But even more duality is me and my thoughts.
Okay.
And even deeper is I and me.
Yeah.
These are the dualities, two set of twos. I and my mind is duality.
Yeah, okay.
Mind and my thoughts are duality.
Okay. That's subtle.
That is profound.
Yes. Okay.
But, he says, but this knowledge is for highest kind of listeners. And he says, we, the madhyam adhikarinam, mand madhyam adhikarinam, like this information, just by knowing this, a very subtle kind of person will get into samadhi. He doesn't need to do much things. But we, he himself says, we, vayam, who are of the kind of middle and the lower ones, what for us? So there are people who like ego doesn't want to accept and doesn't want to come down from profundity. You know, like this kind of information seems very profound and it works for some time. Like when I said it, it brought a state of silence, but for how much time? So those who cannot, like there are three kinds of people, the highest kind, the middle kind and lower kind. So the highest kind of people, for them this much information is enough. But for us, he is saying, for us who are of middle kind and lower kind, we need something more. We need the practice of meditation. And expounding this, today I was discussing with Ajayji, one of his disciples has written, it's better to beg than to remain hungry. It's better to beg than to remain hungry. Similarly, it's better to meditate than to remain entangled in everything. So meditation is like kind of begging. It's of second kind, lower kind. But still we need it. So he is completely agreeing upon that we do not need to do anything. We do not, you see, that popular school of thought. That's true. Ah la la, hu la la, sahaje raiva, take it easy. But
for whom?
for whom?
Yeah.
Because the mind is very much, and it sees objects, and the very fact is it suffers. Dukkha is there, and niratishay shanti is not there. Like abiding peace is not there. Both things, not only dukkha. The misery is there, and abiding peace is not there. For these two things, the people of the middle kind and people of the lower kind should meditate.
Meditation
Is like begging.
could also be called vigilance, or I mean, because we don't really know what we mean, but
Yeah.
could I at times just say vigilance for it, or is that not enough?
Now, vigilance is one kind of meditation.
Yeah.
Like mindfulness meditation is one kind.
Like meditation will be disconnecting
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actual meditation is disconnection.
Very good. Yeah. Thanks.
मनसो निग्रहायत्तम अभयम सर्वयोगिनाम दुःखक्षय प्रबोधश्च अक्षया शांतिरेव च. So meditation is to gain fearlessness, end suffering, gain knowledge, and gain abiding peace.
Once more, it's to gain
Fearlessness.
fearlessness.
First thing, fearlessness. Ending suffering, gaining knowledge, and akshaya shanti, abiding peace, everlasting peace. येषां पुनर्ब्रह्म स्वरूप अव्यक्तेन रज्जु सर्पवत् कल्पितमेव मन इंद्रियाणि च न तो परमार्थो विद्यते. वाह, I like this. तेषां ब्रह्म स्वरूपाणाम अभय मोक्षाख्याः चाक्षयाः शांति स्वभावतः एव सिद्धा नान्यथा नोपचारः कथंचनम इत्यावोचम्. For the people who have realized self, for them their mind, not world, their mind and sense organs, senses, are like snake in the rope. The mind is like illusion for them, those who have realized the highest. For them there is nothing to be done. There is no duty for them. But for us, other than that, who are of lower and middle kind, meditation is important. So he is already saying, if mind is illusion, then who to meditate for what? For such people, there is no need, there is not even meditation. For them, there is nothing to be done. There is nothing, no should, no duty. Like duty is very a small term. No kartabya.
So you see then saying for the very advanced, it's the ability to go straight into the non-duality, is that what you're saying?
Like for them, these things are not there. They are fearless. Just check yourself. If we are fearless, we do not have any suffering, we have abiding peace, no need of meditation. No need of doing anything, like you could do anything or not do anything.
And the no suffering would include actual situations in the
No.
real world.
Suffering and pleasure is never the situation. Suffering happens in the mind.
Yeah. So but the cause of our suffering could be something objective.
Yeah. Sukha and dukkha, these are states of mind. Pleasure and pain, these are mental states, as anger and fear is. These are not the objects also. So, how that meditation happens? The first criteria of meditation, according to this, the first thing is dharya, patience. What kind of patience? Taking a blade of grass and dip into the sea and throw one drop out. Again take the blade.
And keep on as long as it takes to make sea out.
Oh,
That kind of patience is asking,
patience, that's a kind of patience.
Yeah, no, the patience, like if you have a,
Kusa grass.
like a
Grass,
very small leaf,
Mm.
and from that you pour in the sea,
Yeah.
and then, this side. And keep on as long as it takes to make empty the sea.
Wow.
So the mental attitude, not so much long.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean so much long.
Yeah, but in mind,
Ah,
you should be
have that patience.
that kind of firm,
Mm.
that, I will keep on as long as it takes.
Okay.
I will adopt that attitude when I get the rubbish out of the private beach.
Then you can actually dip the leaf.
Yes.
What you mean.
Well, then I can, the Sisyphus is making more sense.
उपायेन निगृह्णयात् विक्षिप्तं कामभोगयोः सुप्रसन्नं लयं चैव यथा कामो लयस्तथा. Something very shaky is coming. So what to do of this mind when we are sitting for meditation? Bring back your mind which is engaged in things. To do this, to do that, to eat pizza, to go to that place. Bring it back. So that state of mind is called vikshipta. Kshipta means thrown, scattered. So bring back your scattered mind. Another thing he is telling,
To bring back the scattered mind to
To yourself.
I.
that those things were something that he explained in this much. So we simply kind of took the gist out of it. Another term that we never find in yoga texts that he has used is laya. A scattered mind means we are aware. Laya means sleepy, drowsy, or absent.
Absent.
And he is stressing, like when we start meditating, it's not very difficult to bring back the scattered mind together. But the next thing that happens is we kind of simply go. Like we either sleep or kind of, like pass out. And then after 15 minutes, and then we think, oh, I had good meditation. So that state is called laya. Laya means mind kind of dissolves for some times, but when it comes back, it comes with same problem, same confusion, same misery, same samskaras. The difference between laya and samadhi is, samadhi, when mind comes out of samadhi kind of thing, its quality is changed. In laya, it goes in, and when it comes out, it comes with the same Humpty Dumpty kind of. And he's saying whether mind is vikshipta, scattered, or in laya, which is relaxing, both is same. So beware of both.
And is here samadhi defined as a state of like inner stillness, with like, but being as it were awake or alert or whatever?
Like it's a mental state, and let's like whatever I will say about it will not be, because it's very complex to really define it.
Like is laya?
But it's not laya.
Like samadhi.
Samadhi. It's
Samadhi.
different.
Yeah, samadhi actually, like it, the laya, he's saying it's like merging into you.
Yeah.
Kind of you completely merge, and then you are merged, but then like whatever in your mind, you have, that is still in subtle form. Because as soon as you again connect to mind, then all those things,
Come back.
they come back.
So the carnival starts again.
Yeah, and in samadhi, like, you are merged with you, and those, like whatever in your mind is, that is also seen as in vain, it's Like,
It's seen for what it is. It is seen for what it is.
yeah, it is seen for what it is, like there is nothing which really can make you do something.
Yeah.
Like so far, like if we be watchful our lives, there will be senses. Many times they will make us to do something,
Yeah.
and also many times mind will make us to do something. And having that state, samadhi, then these things are powerless, They don't have power themselves. If you only empower them, then they have power. Like if you empower mind, yes, mind will do the duties. If you empower your senses, sense will do the duties. But not because of sense, because of you. This is the difference between laya and samadhi.
Samadhi. Now I have a heretical question. Now, when I do this lying down meditation, speaking for me, it's laya, it's getting drowsy
Yeah.
and getting absent. So then this state of, it's definitely not samadhi, it's
Yeah.
just a state that's close to
Of
sleep.
laya, yeah.
Right, and this is why I don't really want to do it. I do it I would do it as a nap after lunch or
Yeah.
to refresh myself
Yeah.
because I'm just tired. But as a practice, I don't find it helpful because it encourages this.
It encourages like the.
It's good for relaxation.
It's really
Yes.
good because like
Very
what
good.
happens, like because in the especially like we do so much
Yeah,
from the body.
yes.
So also when we come to meditation, like everything is tired up.
Yes.
Like the body is tired, mind is tired,
Yeah.
everything is tired. So like to really relax, to be relaxed, that can be a very useful, way
Yes.
of being relaxed.
Yes.
And once you another thing is when you are relaxed,
Yeah.
when you are really, really fully relaxed,
Mm.
and if you go to same state, like say laya,
Yeah.
but then quality will be different. It will be really merging your mind into that, merging your senses into that,
Into
into you.
Into you, yeah. So if I understand you correctly, is there is a place for this laya, and it's totally okay
Yeah,
because it is a relaxing state,
yeah,
and if you do it right, so to speak, it can go deeper
deeper. It will go deeper,
It will
not
go.
kind.
if you remain there conscious.
Yeah, because then conscious, not because generally we know consciousness like provoked, provoked consciousness.
Yes.
Like when I ask my mind to be conscious, then I am conscious.
Yeah.
Right. So that consciousness is not like this,
Not like laya.
not like the provoked consciousness.
Yes.
So then that is like a very different consciousness. It's not provoked. It's
Mhm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
It is like sleepy we can call,
Mm-hmm.
but it works
Mm-hmm.
when it's needed. Like the provoked consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
it always works
Mm-hmm.
if it is needed or not.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you provoke your mind,
Yeah.
it is provoked, it is awake. And maybe in this like 10 minutes, maybe only 1 minute you need like the provokedness,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and 9 minutes you need
Yeah,
rest.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in that consciousness, because it is not provoked, so if that 1 minute will be used as, and then 9 minutes used as restfulness.
Mm-hmm.
So that has its own way of,
That's it.
acting.
Okay. Okay.
And
And
Yes.
Sophie?
Just 1 minute, yeah, I just finished with it, yeah.
Go ahead, please.
No, I'm just, because she's asking questions, so I...
Yeah, no, and just
Yeah.
that I ask the question, it'll probably all.
And what about Yoga Nidra? What
Yeah,
state
that is
it?
also
Laya
like
or-
same thing, it's Laya, yeah. Yoga Nidra is also same thing like Laya.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it can bring to something deeper also.
Yeah, because it will bring, because like you cannot like when you go to sleep, say, you are very, very tired.
Mm.
And you think, I will be sleeping for 72 hours. But after 10 hours, you again stand up because energy is really relaxed. So in same way, like yoga nidra or this, lying down meditation,
Mm.
this will a time will come that you will be, but then a different quality, not same quality, not dull quality.
Yeah, no, is this what when you using the term samadhi here, is that what is also referred to as nirvikalpa samadhi?
Or different types of
Yeah,
nirvikalpa.
like because from there samadhi starts actually.
Uh-huh.
So then the nirvikalpa is like by the realm of samadhi begins here.
But there can be other samadhis can come.
Yeah, other samadhis will come and slowly the what you call nirvikalpa.
Yeah.
That
So if I understand you correctly, that the laya, if fully experienced, then it will slowly change towards a samadhi. So it's a gradual thing. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
one
like
good,
laya
that's
is-
better.
No.
Laya is one of the milestones.
Ah,
Don't
okay.
hold on to it.
All right. So laya is one of the milestones,
Milestone.
and it can.
It
It
refers
means-
that Berlin is 2 kilometers more.
Okay. All right. Good.
Like these are stages.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
first the mind is very agitated, scattered,
Yeah.
and then laya.
And
So
then
he-
drowsiness comes.
Like laya is like there are 5 causes of laya.
Okay.
The moment we will explain that,
Okay, good. Okay,
laya
go ahead.
will become.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And he's very particular in saying that don't stop there.
Yeah. Good.
It doesn't mean that when your mind is not scattered, then you will begin meditation. You will begin meditation with a scattered mind. And once that is resolved, laya. And causes of laya that is given in later commentaries. The first cause is sushupti says. Sushupti means
Susukti says, like if you have your sleep,
sleep.
still not complete.
Okay.
So there will be like a state, that you will be completing your sleep.
Sushupti says.
Susukti says.
Says means leftover.
Like in the morning when you're drowsy and you wake up and you think, oh, should I sleep or shouldn't I?
Yeah.
So that will take
That you will complete like
tiredness, eating a
number
lot,
2? Oh, eating a lot.
and so.
Okay. Too much food. Food coma.
So sushupti means
deep sleep. Deep sleep.
Okay.
Leftover deep sleep you will use
Mhm.
in that state.
Sushupti says.
Yeah.
So if the remedies are, if Sushupti says is there, rest.
Yeah.
If fatigue is there, work less, dhamma, work less with body. With food, kind of food that, and in that, it's very important thing that I often talk, to take the food and drink water. Like proper food and drinking water is quite a vital thing in meditation. It, vital, very important.
To eat, like
Pro-
eating food and drinking water at the same time? Like, no,
Like
just in general.
proper food.
Proper food and
Oh,
proper water.
okay.
Not, not
Not
dirty
like
water.
Mixing.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
Except-
Ayurveda does not like when you drink too much water while you're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah. Like proper eating, proper drinking means not drinking with what? Food.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Many people, like not here, but many people, when they are too busy with things, they do not, the mind cannot register when they are, it's hungry
Thirsty.
and when it's thirsty. And then they, like when I'm in Varanasi, people come with so much agitation and they want to meditate. The best thing for them would be to eat properly, drink enough water and sleep.
But did you say to drink the water not only when you're eating, but for the
Maybe
drink?
Like
proper.
proper
appropriate
means-
water.
Hmm?
Proper drinking means drinking
Appropriate.
not with food.
Oh,
Drinking pure water, good water. Proper means everything that covers it.
Appropriate, like however your body really wants it.
Now comes the master stroke.
A master what?
Master
Stroke.
Master.
Master stroke, you know, the best one we can call.
like tennis.
Oh, okay.
Laye sambodhayet chittam vikchiptam samayet punah shakashayam vijaniyat samam praptam na chalayet. So this couplet, sloka, covers almost all ways of meditations. There are people who want to be only watching, becoming mindful of the mind, like mindful. There are some ways of meditation where you are encouraged to do something, like chanting a mantra, or there are some ways of meditation where you are asked to not to do something. Here, in these 4 quarters of the 4 of one sloka, he is kind of synthesizing all these things, all these views. So first is laye sambodhayet chittam. Whenever mind gets drowsy and you know that you have slept enough, just know, like not know, don't force yourself. Sambodhan means telling yourself what? Telling yourself. And when mind is scattered, bring it back. The people who do practice mindful meditation, like seeing the mind, just allowing it to be, and if mind goes into many things, and if you don't bring it back, just seeing doesn't help. If you are really involved into, just seeing doesn't help.
If you're only just seeing,
It doesn't work. Like when mind is planning, when it's actually involved into
well,
planning, like the tickets will be there and then I will go to airport and from there I will go to Germany and then this is this and this is this. This goes on and on and on and on and it doesn't stops. However mindful you try to become.
So, but in Vipassana meditation, which is a kind of
I
mindfulness
know, that's why
meditation,
so many people are getting crazy.
are getting
Because I'm watching all the-
are getting what?
Crazy.
Oh, crazy. Ah. But when, like, the advice is to come back to the, sort of try to anchor yourself in the breath then, when you notice your mind has wandered off, just come back
Yeah,
to the
so
breath.
this is Samyat Puna. That is bringing it back.
That is bringing it back.
Yeah.
Because they don't say just sit there and watch it all
Yeah.
going all over the place. They do say try to come
Yeah,
back.
they do. But
Yeah.
they actually say anchor it in your breath.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just
But
not
there are people who think that it's not just anchoring, you
it's
just
open
let it go.
awareness. Yeah.
So the person who founded Vipassana in Varanasi, he went crazy.
Okay.
And he, after that, he has made him,
Really?
he used to take his, he's the one, he was his Vipassana teacher, he was everything, he was managing everything, last 40 years practicing. Taking his own shoes and hitting himself.
Not a good plan. Yeah. And there is. It's only one branch of meditation where they say just be with whatever is. Like I think they call it Dzogchen. Is that what they call it? Yeah, is that I think where you just
No, what happens?
Don't
Doing nothing is
come
quite appealing.
Mm.
yeah, it is.
If I tell you to not to do anything and just be with it, it's quite appealing. Because we are tired of doing things. So it's kind of appeal so much.
Like even in this open awareness, it takes a lot of vigilance to stay with whatever is happening. It's not
And that's
easy.
why becoming vigilant is not non-action. It is also kind of a subtle action.
Yeah, yeah.
A mental action. Drish, to see is an action.
Yes.
Third thing is sakashayam bijaniyat. Become aware, just simply mindful of shakasaya. There is difference between desire and kashaya. Kashaya is mental images and thoughts passing through where you are not involved. Like there are two kinds. There are thoughts where you plan or you know. So those are called a scattering of the mind. But then there are memories where you are not involved, or you remember things, or the thoughts simply go and come, where you are not involved. So just know it, become mindful of it.
So you're saying that last one is what one should try to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are involved into the thoughts, if you are the thinker of your thoughts, and you are planning and this is happening, then you should bring your mind back. But if thinking is happening in your mind, just know it.
Thinking is happening for a reason,
Where you are not involved, your
Oh, okay.
involvement is not there.
okay.
Pictures, we
Pictures
walk
are
down the
going-
street
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
suddenly you see
Yeah.
the
Like
bakery
basically
and
asking involvement to be in you, not in like because of course
Not in the story.
not in any other thing, and that will keep on because there is some leaking energy,
Yes.
and that will keep on. But if you are involved
Yeah.
within you, then suddenly that leaking energy can stop.
Okay, good.
And when you are not sleeping, when your mind is not scattered, and when this kashaya is not going on, then a samam comes. The kind of equanimity dawns. Stay with it.
And try then to come back to this subtle I place we were talking about
That subtle
earlier.
I place is when the thoughts are not going, when you are not sleeping, and when you are not involved in the thoughts, planning etc., then whatever is left is called sama, I, aware, you, whatever is left, stay with it. Don't move, like he's saying, don't move.
Then don't allow movement.
But by trying to stop the movement or just by being
No,
aware?
Yeah, just being kind of like, enjoying it, because
Enjoying.
that will be like a timeless state. Like, that, like one very peaceful, timeless state, which is enjoyable. So just kind of,
All doing and non-doing falls in the category of a scattered mind. So you have already eliminated that. Sleeping drowsiness falls in the laya.
What I glean, what I get from what you're saying is to have pretty firm anchor, really.
Yeah.
So because that's often with meditation, it's not so stressed. So they say, well, watch the thoughts and like clouds, but then you can be a bit like sky gazing. You don't really want that. You want to very grounded, returning to something that isn't the proliferation of thoughts.
So this, coming back to this I, for me anyway, when I hear you talking or when I feel that there's like a sense of an I somehow. And I don't know if it's right, but it can be, you can't actually see it. It's almost as if I can see it. Is that the sort of...
Yeah. Like, it's not solid.
Yeah,
It's kind of changes.
just like a subtle vibration there.
Vibrational, something. But
It could
it's
be-
not really solid.
That isn't solid.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you remember, you may hate that I, you may want another I. You may think that that I is not I, but that is the only thing you have to work with. So stay with it.
But then, for me, it's almost like a physical sensation.
It could be anything. Don't assume that I to be super I. Whatever comes in the form of I, riding on the thoughts, or riding on the emotions, or riding on the sensations. In its simplest, grossest form. Don't reject it. Because we are trained to think the I should be when I appears, the bells should tingle and God should put flower.
Mm.
But I didn't mean that it is physical, but
Yeah,
it
it's
sort of has a quality
sensational.
of being or something like that.
It's like sensational, you know, that you really, you know, because it's really felt in the body, and because it, you know, body really responds to that as sensational.
Yeah. Just to say it again, I just like saying it to reassure myself. It is body based.
It is,
It
Very
is
much.
body based.
It's very much body based.
you know, like everything like this.
Yeah.
Without body,
No life.
you never knew that you are unstable.
I know.
Only in the body
Yeah.
you started knowing. So of course, you know, like still we are talking body-based things.
There again, I find that quite a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I is not I. Oof, enough to make one
Oh,
mad.
absolutely.
That is like, you know, when your knowledge is ahead of experience.
It's a reassuring simplicity
Yeah,
somewhat. in
yes,
that-
yes, simple, like based upon your faulty assumptions. But still it's useful. That is the only thing. With complete humility,
Yeah.
humbleness, allowing that I to be.
Thank you so much.
The I wants food.
It's time to for good food
Yeah.
and good water.